Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolors in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolor. Hi everybody, Diane here. Welcome to my channel. Today is the 4th of April or the 5th of April, something like that. And before very long, we'll be welcoming back the little swallows to our place in where we live at the moment in France. So I thought I would do a painting of those. And this is roughly what we're going to do. And before I get started on that, I just wanted to talk about history, my history, at least where this painting came from. This is a photo of 5 baby swallows in a piece of paper that I tore out of a magazine. I used to belong to the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Birds, RSPB, as it's known in England. And every month I used to get their magazine sent to me, and it was this is a different one, but that's from the RSPB, this one here. It was a really informative and very interesting magazine, and I kept a lot of extracts from it because in those days, this was back in... There's a date on here, April 2004, this one was. So these go back to at least then. I think this one might be even older than that. You remember, don't you, how hard it was to find material to paint from? And I was just flicking through this morning, and I've painted a lot of these paintings. I've made paintings from a lot of these photos, and I used to have to do all of these things. I traced this. And this is when I was learning to paint, so I traced things and copied in great detail these paintings. This one I did lots of times, and this is a photocopy, and I scribbled over the back with graphite. I've told you how to do this lots of times. Then I put the paper underneath and drew over it, and so you get the outline, because it's very easy once you can draw to just say to people, oh, just make it up out of circles and squares, and just do it like this, and it's easy. Here's a circle, here's an oval, just join them together, make a bird. I think it probably took me about 20 years to learn how to draw a bird. And this is the book that proves it, because everything I kept in here, here's another one, lots and lots of them, and I did this endlessly. Someone said the other day, how did you learn to draw so well? I just kept on doing it. And I know that for some people, as you get older, you think, there's not enough time left in my life to be able to do this. And I would be saying the same thing. I mean, I'm not going to take up car mechanics at this stage of life, am I? But you see how many times I've traced over this? I don't know if you can see that from there, but I traced over this like so many times. You can see the shine of the graphite, how many times I've gone over that same photocopy, and how many times I've painted that picture, how many times I've photocopied that picture. And I'm going to do it for you again today. It's probably the 500th time I've painted this arrangement of birds. So here's my most recent photocopy of these birds. And here's my piece of paper, and I've sketched them out. I used a light box just to get them in the right position. I don't suppose you can see that. I can barely see it. Something wrong with my eyes today. Anyway, I will put the sketch for this on the website for free for you to download if you want to have a go. And when I paint it, you'll see that the way I do it is actually quite simplified. And so we're going to use the Kuretake paints. I hope you're not bored with that, because I feel quite passionate about that. That it's, number one, it's hard to learn to draw. Number two, not everyone's got time. Number three, don't tell people it's easy, because it isn't. Number 4, if you have to do it by tracing, do it by tracing. Don't feel guilty about it. I still do, even though I can draw. And so, yes, that's my message for the day. I'm going to use probably only 2 colours for this. This is the Kuretake sets, slightly over the top here. I'm going to use grey-blue, probably. Blue-grey deep or indigo. Indigo, probably. Probably, yeah, indigo here. This is indigo mixed with some black to get a nice dark colour with a little bit of blue in it. So indigo and black. It's another one of my hobby horses. Don't let anyone tell you you shouldn't use black. There are times when you need it to make things darker. Why not? And then the pink, I think Kuretake Art Nouveau colours are really good for pinks. You know, you could do the pink on these swallows like that. That one is, what's that one called? It's on the back of it. Oh, by the way, I put my paints back in the box, as you can see, and these ones too. I have restored them to their glory in their, or this is Potter's Pink. This is Potter's Pink. Potter's Pink, remember that one? The Kuretake Art Nouveau all have their colours written on the back and they're labelled on the front, so you can always put them back in place. I don't think these are in the right place, but they could easily be put in the right place. These ones are all in the right place, and the way they've done this one here, they've numbered inside the box. Let me show you one there you can see. They've numbered it here, number 60, cobalt blue, and on the back here, it doesn't say cobalt blue, it says it in Chinese, or Japanese rather, but it does say number 60. So you can always put them back where they came from. And anyone who's worried about taking their paints out because they won't know where to put them back in, it's actually really simple. So we'll use Potter's Pink and indigo and black. And to make it easier for myself, what I would do is take them out, Potter's Pink, black, and indigo. You don't have to use Kuretake paints to do this painting. You can use any paints to do this painting. Just going to fetch a little palette here, and I'm going to put the paints in there. This one works quite well. Maybe I'll put that there. It's a good fit, isn't it? This is a Meaden palette, available on Amazon if you want to buy one. I've got them in my shop for you to, to order from my shop. Amazon, now let me think, amazon.com/shop/Diane Antone Studio. The link is in the description below the video. If you go via that link to Amazon, the things that you buy will be done through our account, and we get a minuscule amount, but it all adds up and it helps to keep everything going. Right, so that picture is going over there, and what am I going to do? I'm going to paint. So I've got a Draw Well number 7 here. I think number 7 probably big enough. Draw Well brushes, yes. Link in the description below. Okay, let's hope this goes okay, because you never know, do you really? You never know. The sun's out today, thank goodness. Which means that I have better light to paint in, but sometimes that's hard on the eyes. And so I'm just mixing some indigo with some black. I'm not going to be too finicky about it. And then what I do is I just drop that in with my brush. I'm going to leave a little space there because we're going to put some Potter's Pink in there. And then just to keep it, paper, this is a piece of arches, I think. So we just sort of paint the rough shape of his dark feathers. And then this one, we do the same. Paint round where the eye is going to go, because we'll fill that in with a bit of black. Leave some space there for the pinkish bit in the front. And then this one here. If you vary the colour a little bit, when you replenish your brush, you know, just pick up a little bit more of a different colour. And we've got his back goes round there. So this always reminds me when I do this of Rolf Harris and his, do you know what it is yet? Can you see what it is yet? I probably shouldn't mention him. Does anyone ever feel inhibited about what they say, how they, oh God, honestly. I'm too old to be inhibited anymore. Mind you, I'm not going to go skinny dipping or anything like that. So don't imagine that's what I mean. Right, and then we've got this last one here. Kuretake paints again. The question has come up again about whether or not they are vegan. They are not at the moment, but I have got in touch with Kuretake, and I got a reply from them this morning, and they say they are in the process of the next batch of paints that goes out will have something in them which is a substitute for the animal-based derivatives that they had been using. So they've listened to the pressure, and they're changing. And I do hope, please, that they are not going to become less good, because I do like them. So I think I might. I'm not a vegan, I'm a vegetarian, and I don't agree with the vegan principles. And I can talk about that at length, but not here. But if that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. Anyway, I'm just putting the pink in and drawing that round so that it runs into position, and I'm hoping that that's going to look right when it's dry. It's all a case of fingers crossed. And then we'll just drag out some colour for the beaks. And I'm going to come in when this is dry. I will be finishing it off with pencil. Not pencil. God. Sometimes it's really hard to talk and paint at the same time. Not pencil, Diane. No. Right, now the legs. Pen. I might do a bit of pen work. I'm going to keep the feet really sketchy and delicate. And this is the way they sort of stand they're on a kind of branch, and I'm going to just paint that in with a bit of black, with a bit of pink, just kind of scratch that in. There we are. Okay, so probably best to let that dry of its own accord. And then I'll come back in with the pen and finish it off. If when you get to this point you think, oh, it's not quite dark enough, you could always drop in some areas like that, for example, to just darken it down a bit with a bit more black. I think that's probably a reasonable idea. Just a slight second coat because it's not quite dry yet, so that will meld in quite well, I think. And this one, I'm looking at the photo and seeing where the shadows were mostly. This one could do a bit more black on his back. Right. Okay, we'll dry that off now. So it's dry now, and the next step, I've put the paints away. I won't be using those anymore. I've got a Winsor & Newton fine liner here. This is a black 0.8 millimeter pen. I could also use 0.5, and maybe I will. And I've got here a white gel pen. This one is new to me. I haven't used this one yet. This is a hybrid gel DX by Pentel. Pentel Hybrid Gel DX. Somebody recommended this as being somewhat better than the Uniball Signo, which I had been using. Do find that this is not very happy sometimes with paper that's got some texture. So I'm hoping that this one will be better, but it's not going to be a big doodle fest here, so we're not going to be particularly giving it much of a workout. We will try that next time we'll give it a real test when the next time we do some doodling. So, right, so probably best thing to do is to start with the eyes and to know that the little swallow chicks have got quite big eyes with just a small amount of light in them. So you can sort of draw them in like that. And then to give them the sort of shape that they need, you can come in there with a bit of white just to give them some, this one here, I think, bring this way a little bit. This one, and then we've got this one, and this one, so there we are, they've all got their eyes now, and then we can put in their beaks. I like to give them sort of little cheeky looks, like this one looks like, where's my dinner kind of thing. And then the next step is to sketchily go around the shape and straighten it out a little bit where you want to sort of put more details in, or if you've sort of lost the shape because you just very, very lightly did the shape of the bird. There we are. So, and then the back, and then round the top. Just don't be too careful. And then they have the sort of lines. Right, and then there's this one. Just use your pen to just emphasize the shape. Don't try and, don't overdo it. This one's cute. He's got a lovely little tail. Put some tail feathers there. There we are. And yeah, just give each one of them a few scratchy scratches You can see that quite clearly on this one here. This is an old version I did years ago, but you can see how scratchy I was when I did that. I'm not going to do quite so much on these because I don't think it needs it. I'm going to just take the white and put a few little white lines here and there. We'll go round the eye as well. If you've been really clever, you'll have left the light, but 9 times out of 10 that gets lost. And then we're going to emphasize the feet, and one of the things I really like to do is just give them little toenails. If you've ever held a bird in your hand, you know a bird in your hand is worth 10 in the bush. I reckon it's, the exchange rate's gone up now. It's not just a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. I think a bird in the hand is worth 10 in the bush. If you ever held a tiny bird in your hand, which I've done recently because they keep on collapsing in a heap outside the studio, you notice they do have very strong and quite large feet. So there we are. I think that's done. I'm not going to do any more details. I really like the way the paint has granulated along the edge of the twig that they're sitting on. That's when you get the potter's pink mixed with the indigo and black. You're going to get some nice granulation. And so there we are. 5 little swallows sitting on a twig. I hope you enjoyed that. And I know I did. I haven't painted this painting for a long time, and I'm quite pleased with that. Don't forget, if you want to buy any of our paintings, this one included, just send me an email and we'll sort it out. $50 or €50, or £50 if you live in England, including the shipping. So thanks ever so much, everybody. We're well over 100,000 now subscribers, but if you haven't subscribed yet, please do click that button, and I'll see you again soon. Off my lunch now, and going to enjoy a little bit of sunshine this afternoon when we go and get our passports photos taken. It's exciting, isn't it? Okay, bye for now, everyone. Bye-bye.